I often spend long hours behind the wheel, sometimes late into the night. Usually everything goes smoothly, just me, the road, and a podcast playing through the speakers. That night I was driving along a quiet state highway, cutting through rural countryside. My GPS had rerouted me from the main road due to an accident, leading me onto this desolate backup route among the hills. It was well past midnight, around 2 in the morning, the kind of darkness where trees on the roadside look like shifting figures, and your headlights are the only proof the world still exists. A mile from my destination, I saw the tunnel sign. No name, just a standard warning. Tunnels always feel a bit eerie at night, don't they? This one looked old. A simple arch carved into a massive rock face, probably built decades ago. The kind with dim yellowish lights spaced unevenly along the ceiling, casting long, flickering shadows. As I approached, I noticed the tunnel was longer than I'd expected, stretching into absolute darkness inside the hill. I slowed down as I entered. The sound of my tires changed as they met the concrete surface. The air grew cooler, damper. The radio, tuned to an indie station, hissed and dissolved into static. Annoying, but normal in tunnels. I turned it off, leaving the cabin in relative silence, broken only by the hum of the engine and the rhythmic whoosh-whoosh of passing lights. About a quarter of the way in, hard to judge distance in places like this, I saw him. A figure stood on the narrow pedestrian walkway to my right. His back was turned to me, facing the wall. My heart jumped. You don't expect pedestrians in a remote tunnel at 2 in the morning. My first thought was that his car had broken down. I eased off the gas, slowing down. As I got closer, I glimpsed his face in the intermittent light. A man in his late 50s, maybe early 60s. Tired-looking, unshaven. He wore a jacket and jeans. He wasn't holding a sign or waving for help. Just standing there. But when my headlights fully illuminated him, he raised his hand. Not frantically, but slowly, almost hesitantly. Common sense screamed, "Keep driving." Nighttime, a deserted tunnel, a lone stranger, recipe for a bad story. But he seemed more lost than threatening, and part of me, the part that hopes someone would stop for me in the same situation, made me slow down even more. I pulled up beside him and rolled down the window. Cool, damp air rushed in, smelling of wet stone and exhaust. "Are you okay?" I asked, trying to sound calm. He leaned toward the window. His face was lined, his eyes weary. "Oh, thank God," he rasped. "My car, it broke down just a bit further up. Completely dead." "In the tunnel?" I glanced in the rear-view mirror. The entrance was a pale arch in the distance, but I didn't see any stranded vehicle. He shook his head. "No, right before it. It sort of, slid into a ditch as I was approaching. The engine cut out, the lights too. One second I was driving, the next I was fighting the wheel to avoid hitting the rocks. You probably can't see the car from the road, it's down in a dip." He gestured behind us toward the entrance. Stupid thing. I decided to walk. There's a 24-hour gas station a couple miles past the tunnel, according to the last sign. It sounded plausible. A car could easily veer off the road at night and disappear into a ditch. And he didn't seem dangerous, just unlucky. Get in, I said, unlocking the door. I'll take you to the station. God, thank you, he said, relief washing over his face. You're a lifesaver. He climbed in, bringing another gust of damp air with him. He smelled like wet earth and something else, faintly metallic, coppery. I chalked it up to the ditch or his old car. No problem, I replied, pulling away smoothly. Rough place to get stuck. Tell me about it, he sighed, rubbing his hands together as if he were cold, though it wasn't. 1 minute I'm fine, the next... Well, anyway, glad you came along. We drove in silence for a couple of minutes. The lights overhead continued their steady rhythm. I checked the dashboard, everything normal. I kept waiting for the exit to appear, but the tunnel just kept going. Must be longer than I thought. This tunnel's something else, I remarked, trying to break the silence. Yeah, he murmured. He stared straight ahead into the endless stretch of concrete and dim light. Goes on forever. Another few minutes passed. A knot of unease twisted in my gut. In the distance, the exit's light flickered, but it never got closer. I was doing exactly 40, the speed limit. We should have been out by now. I tapped my fingers on the wheel. You sure the station isn't far past the exit? Feels like this tunnel never ends. I tried to laugh, but it came out hollow. He didn't turn his head. We'll see the end soon, he said evenly. Any moment now. But the end didn't come. That tiny dot of light remained a distant star. I glanced at the odometer. We'd gone nearly 3 miles since picking him up. There couldn't possibly be a tunnel this long out here. A structure like this in the middle of nowhere would be famous. The unease grew, coiling inside me like a cold snake. I checked the GPS. The screen was frozen, stuck at the entrance, the car icon unmoving. GPS is glitching, I muttered. Perfect. No signal deep inside, he said, still calm. I glanced at him from the corner of my eye. He was still staring ahead, his expression hidden in the half-light. That coppery smell was stronger now. Or was I imagining it? Feels like we're not getting any closer, I said, more tense now. Look, we've been driving for miles, but the light's still just as far. He finally turned to me. In the flickering light, his eyes seemed darker, and there was a stillness in them that sent chills down my spine. Patience, he said, his voice low. Tunnels play tricks. We'll be out soon. Very soon. Those words didn't comfort me. They did the opposite. There was something in his tone, something unsettlingly predatory. Then something else happened. I instinctively checked the rearview mirror. The lights behind us, stretching back toward the entrance, had changed. One, about 100 yards back, flickered and went out, plunging that section into thick shadow. A moment later, the next one died. Then another. Ice-cold terror shot through me. The darkness was advancing, swallowing the light one lamp at a time. It was as if the tunnel itself was fading behind us, the blackness chasing us. Did you see that? I whispered. The lights. They're going out. He didn't turn around, just kept looking at me. The darkness comes for everyone, he said, his voice chillingly certain. My heart pounded like a drum. This wasn't a breakdown or a long tunnel. This was something else. The air felt thick, heavy. The coppery smell hit me harder, nauseatingly strong. I slammed the gas. 50, 55, 60 mph. The walls blurred into a gray streak. The lights flashed faster, but the exit's glow stayed fixed in place.
"What's happening?" I shouted, my voice shaking. "Why won't the tunnel end?"
He was silent for a moment, then said quietly, "Maybe it doesn't want to let us go." I looked in the mirror again. The darkness was closer. The last light behind us was only about 50 feet away, and beyond it, pure black, like a living thing. Primal fear gripped me. "Slow down," he commanded, his voice eerily calm. "There's no need to rush." "No need?" I nearly screamed. "The darkness is catching up. We have to get out." "You shouldn't fear the dark," he murmured, his head tilting slightly. "It brings peace, an end to struggle." His voice dropped lower, almost soothing. "Stop. Just let go. Let it take you. It's easier that way." As he spoke, an overwhelming exhaustion washed over me. My eyelids grew heavy. The steering wheel felt like lead. The thought of stopping, closing my eyes and letting whatever was happening take me, was terrifyingly tempting. The world seemed to wrap around me like a blanket. My foot lifted from the pedal on its own. The car slowed. In the mirror, the wall of darkness seemed to open its arms. But deep inside, another instinct flared, sharp, furious. "Danger! Wake up! Don't you dare!" Like a bucket of ice water. My eyes snapped open. The fatigue vanished, replaced by a rush of adrenaline. This wasn't peace. This was consumption. I slammed the brakes. The tires screeched, the car skidded, but it stopped. My passenger lurched against the seatbelt with a grunt. The darkness loomed at the bumper, shifting like something alive. I fumbled for the glove compartment. On long drives, I carry a licensed handgun. My hand closed around the cold grip. "What are you doing?" His voice was ice now, all softness gone. I pulled out the gun, my fingers trembling but my grip firm, flicked off the safety and aimed. "Get out," I breathed. "Now! Out of my car!" He stared at the gun, then at me. The light caught his face, and it twisted. His wrinkles deepened, his features turning feral. And his eyes... God, his eyes. Not human, bottomless, ancient and malevolent. He grinned, too wide, predatory, with unholy glee. The coppery smell thickened like stale blood. "You won't leave," he hissed, his voice scraping at my sanity. "It's tasted you now." "Out!" I roared, finger on the trigger. His grin stretched wider. With unnatural smoothness, he opened the door. The gun didn't faze him. "Have it your way," he said, stepping out into the murky half-light. He paused, silhouetted in the doorway, just steps away from the yawning darkness that seemed to reach for him. "This tunnel will let you go now," he rasped, his gaze piercing me. "But every tunnel, every shadow, it'll be waiting.
It knows your scent. It'll find you. You can't run from yourself. He turned, took one step, then another, and on the third, he vanished. Like smoke. One moment he was there, the next, gone, swallowed whole. I didn't think. I slammed the gear shift, stomped the gas. The tires screeched, then caught, and the car lurched forward. I didn't look in the mirror, just stared ahead at that distant dot of light, praying to every god I knew. The engine roared. The lights became a nauseating strobe. I don't know how long I drove, just away. The darkness was still there. I could feel it. Then, suddenly, the tiny light ahead expanded, grew into the arch of the exit, the dim, pre-dawn sky beyond it. I burst out like a cork from a bottle, gasping for air, my whole body shaking. I didn't slow down, just kept driving, putting as much distance as I could between me and that cursed hole. 10-15 minutes later, it felt like eternity, I saw the neon glow of a 24-hour gas station. I skidded into the parking lot, yanked the handbrake. My legs were jelly. I nearly fell getting out, drenched in cold sweat. The sleepy cashier stared as I staggered to the counter like I'd seen a legion of ghosts. I bought a bottle of water, hands shaking so badly I couldn't open it. I didn't say a word about what happened. Who would believe me? I went back to the car, locked all the doors, and sat there until dawn, the gun on the seat beside me. No sign of the man's car, no ditch, nothing. The road leading to and from the tunnel was just an ordinary, empty highway. It's been a few days now. I can't drive through any tunnel, no matter how short, even in daylight. Every time that icy fear creeps in, the certainty that he's waiting, his words echo in my head. It knows your scent. It'll find you. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that darkness is, but it felt ancient and evil. And I know with horrible certainty, this isn't over.